Automation and Cloud Builders Special Interest Group webinar with Vivid. The topic of today's exciting webinar is what's new in cloud and automation software. We're talking about the new suite and the new architecture. As always, this webinar is brought to you by Vivid, and I'll introduce myself, Darren Blumenthal, shortly. And if you know anyone who uses HPE automation products and that, please join the Vivid Automation and Cloud Builders SIG today, if you're not already a member. Today's speakers are going to be myself, Darren Blumenthal. I'm an Alliance Solution Architect at Accenture. We have very special guest speakers with us today from HPE. That's Meg Glick and Neil Miles, both Product Marketing Managers. Just some housekeeping rules. This is a live session. It's being recorded. Recordings are available to all Vivid members. And to enlarge your presentation screen, please click on the rectangle in the upper right-hand corner of the presentation pane. Session questions and answers. Please type your questions in the Q&A pane and click on Ask. We will park those till the end and choose the language in which you'd like to ask your questions. So a little bit about me. I am Darren Blumenthal. I live in the UK with my family, my wife and 2 kids, and our 3 dogs. One is called Skabenga, which is an African word for troublemaker. I was made in South Africa, and I've been in IT professionally for over 21 years, most of which has been as a solution architect. My specialities are in cloud architecture design, storage, networking, virtualization, security, and, of course, disaster recovery and business continuity. And in what little spare time I have, I'm a martial arts instructor and a close-up magician. So I'm honored to be leading the Automation and Cloud Builders Special Interest Group. As Vivid is an independent non-profit service organization representing the broader Hewlett-Packard enterprise software community, and now Microfocus, I wanted to bring together all the data center automation and cloud builders so that we could openly discuss and learn from each other various different ways of doing things in today's cloud world. They say when everyone is doing best practice, it's no longer best practice, it's rather common practice. So hopefully I can bring us all together and we can leverage from the 3 pillars of Vivid: advocacy, community, and education. And what better way to start off the education bit by bringing you 2 great speakers from HP to tell us about the exciting new suites in data center automation and cloud management. So please welcome, along with me, Meg Glick and Neil Miles.
Great, thank you, Darren. That was awesome. Again, my name is Meg Glick, and I work primarily on the data center automation team at HPE. As Darren kind of mentioned, he is a new leader to the SIG group, and we have been chatting over several months and kind of realized it's been some time since we've sat down with all of you and given you an idea of the direction of where we're going as a software group, and the new things and the new innovation that we've instituted across our products. So before jumping into new demos about our architecture or the innovations that we're doing, we thought it best to level set with all of you about where we are, where we're going, and what our current offerings are. Some of you may have already heard that from your partners that you work with or your sales reps, but we thought it would be good that we're all on the same page before we eventually do more drill downs into the actual functionality of our offerings. So please, take notes of what is interesting to you as we go over it and what you'd like to see in the future. Our goal as a team working with Darren is one webinar per quarter at minimum. And we're definitely more than happy to take things offline one-on-one to show you different functionalities and different best practices as you need it. So getting right into it, as we've kind of mentioned in the registration and the promotion of this webinar, we have gone from what used to be 44-point products to 5 suites over the last year and a half, 2 years or so. We realized that, from an internal perspective, it was hard for us to maintain a certain level of innovation across that many products and also ensure that they all integrated and were easy for you all to use amongst all your other tool sets outside of what we offer. So we've really simplified the complexity. The suites are easy to consume, easy to deploy, and easy to integrate with how we've combined them. Today, we're going to focus on the hybrid cloud management suite and the data center automation suite, each having a specific set of functionalities. Again, back to level setting, we want to make sure you know where you are aligned to based on the products that you've legacy been using with HP. So if you're a cloud service automation, operations orchestration, or cloud optimizer user, the hybrid cloud management suite really uses those technologies as a foundation. On the other side, data center automation is really a combination of our server automation, operations orchestration, database and middleware automation, and IT operations compliance products. Those functionalities are core to that suite. And I do just want to mention these products are still being consumed and sold individually, and there's no plan to abandon them in the short or really long term. Our investment in the innovation and security of those point products that you see at the top are core to the success of our suite, because that's what we leverage to combine the capabilities and to better those suites for the long haul. But in addition to that, I will say the innovation and the exciting things that we're doing are coming at the suite level, because that's where we believe is the best way for you guys to consume what we offer, and we'll show that a little bit more as we delve into those suites more. But from here, I want to turn it over to Neil to talk about the most important of our innovations that we launched in April or May of this year, to talk about the Container Deployment Foundation.
All right, thanks, Megan. Yeah, my name's Neil Miles. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager. I'm working on the Hybrid Cloud Management Suite, along with Carrie Sprinkle. So let's tell you about the Container Deployment Foundation. Why is this important? Why is it something you need to know about? Because what we've done is a 2-year effort to basically decompose and build microservices out of our existing products and put them together under a deployment platform that allows you to have a lot of benefits. It's basically built on containers. It leverages shared services and microservices. It is built as a new delivery model for software. So instead of spending weeks just installing software, then you have to go and do some integrations. Then you finally can add your own value and tune for your business. Let's just turn that upside down. Let's almost use a wizard to install it. Let's build it quickly. And then the real kicker is that as we right now we're producing new editions every quarter. Every quarter you'll have the ability to roll in that new functionality every quarter. So and that's without real pain. It just takes minutes. And the cool thing is that allows a different ROI conversation with your management about how to get value from any management tool. And when we presented this to Gartner earlier in the year, they went, "You did what? How did you do this?" Because no one else was even working on it. And the cool thing is that, in fact, this whole architecture, later on we can actually talk about the security of the Container Deployment Foundation in another webinar later on. But it really is pre-integrated, out of the box, and offers single suite licensing. So we're really excited about it. So let's go into that a bit and give you a bit more detail. There are some key open source components that make up this foundation. Now, we're using Docker containers, but we're running on a Kubernetes framework for orchestration. Vault, etc., Flannel, Heapster, Kubernetes Vault are all components, but what we've built is a foundation. Let's get to that quickly, and all these slides will be available to you. But what we've done is decomposed, if you see those purple boxes in the center, decomposed each suite into a set of not only common, but suite-specific microservices. That's sitting on top of the orchestration engine and the platform. But the cool thing is that can be deployed anywhere. Physical, virtual, you can put this on the cloud and containers. Now, as I said, this is a fruition of a 2-year effort to build this foundation, and Many of the suites are in process of moving to this totally. The hybrid cloud management suite, which I represent, is probably most closest there. We're about 90% of the way there, fully containerized now. So it is pretty cool that the ability to then deploy in minutes, use that wizard, upgrade in just minutes as well. You can see down the bottom some of the values. Time to get all the parts integrated takes just a couple hours. Time to install is actually just a few minutes using the wizard. Time to scale, that's going to be pre-built into it in the versions this fall. And then deployment options are flexible, so you can choose where you want. You can run this in the cloud, you can run it on a VM, you can run it physical, you can run it containers. And so this allows for a much more flexible structure for us to add and build out suite functionality, because each has been basically decomposed down into a microservice. So we won't get into a lot of details around that today, but I think it would be a great, if you're interested, it might be a great topic for us to get into more detail with you in a future event. So as we move in, let's get going into the actual suite area. But once again, let me just close off this. Why do we believe this is so important, this container deployment foundation? Because it's a fundamental change in how you install and upgrade and leverage management software. It's pre-integrated. It's got a unified licensing model. It's so much faster. People are floored when they see how fast this goes in, and rolling container upgrades are almost zero pain. It's just amazing. Okay, auto scale will be built in, disaster recovery, high availability. All those things are coming. And why this is exciting is it gives you control about not only how you're using the software, but where that's installed. And to preclude other questions, right now, think of it almost like an appliance. I can't deploy on your own Docker, Docker environment. We have to have this container foundation put in place as a foundation for the suites. But of course, it is so much faster and so much easier. It's not really much of a problem for people. Okay, so people are excited about it. So hybrid cloud management, DevOps Ready, acting as a bridge between Dev and Ops, multi-cloud management and orchestration, along with application release automation. So this is the new suite that we've put together. It was announced in January. And why are we excited about it? Because it addresses the three key use cases that customers are telling us they have. One is delivery, hybrid IT delivery, how to deliver all environments everywhere to all their stakeholders and constituents. Okay. Second use case is, how do I help ops fulfill the DevOps environment? In fact, when I talk to CIOs, you sit there and go, how's the DevOps thing going? The ops teams lose in that environment. Their funding's being cut, things are getting tough, and it really is a tough environment. For cloud brokering and governance, what we want to be able to do is bring other cloud services, make it much more easy. But I'm just wondering, we should probably ask a poll. Let's before we get too much into the cloud environment, let's ask a poll about cloud usage right now. Anne-Marie, can you pull up a polling question for the audience, please?
Yes, I can.
Darren.
Thanks for that, Marie. Okay, so polling question, the first one for the day is, where is your organization at when it comes to the use of containers? Not using it, but you're interested in learning more? Investigating, testing, or experimenting with containers? You are running containers in production, or you just don't know? So we'll just run this poll there and see what the audience's organizations are at currently with containerization.
So if you could answer, and we'll display the results in just a second as people get that in. Okay, sounds like people are very much in the investigating and testing environment. A small group are running containers right now, and some are interested but not quite using them yet. So that's a bigger, but the biggest ones are investigating, testing, and running. And then there is a good section not using yet but interested. Excellent. We got a couple more questions for you, so let's. Do I close that first? Anne-Marie, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Darren.
Okay, so another question there for you guys. How many public cloud vendors does your organization use today or plan to use, if you have an idea? Do you use one today but plan an additional one in the future, 2, or maybe even 3 or more cloud providers or public cloud providers? So if you put your answers in, we can then see what the general consensus is. Question again, how many public cloud vendors does your organization currently use today or plan to use?
Okay, it looks like most are. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a good proportion using 2, the same proportion using 1 today, but planning on using more in the future. There is some using 3 or more, and just a few using just only 1 public cloud vendor. Cool, excellent.
Do you want to take the other poll?
Yeah, let's move on to the cloud management platform.
And it would be interesting to see which public cloud vendors they're using.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly.
Right. One more question there. Have you chosen a cloud management platform for your organization yet? Yes, already chosen. In progress now, or you're planning that for this year, or you've got it planned for further on down the line. So we'll just get the answers for these questions and see what
this is where we need topic here. Yeah, we need the Jeopardy jingle here playing while they're answering the question here.
Yes, get that timer going.
Yes. All right, some have already chosen their cloud management platform. The same percentage are actually more people are planning it for next year. A lot of people are investigating right now, and some are in progress. So that's good. That's that's good. Right now, we've got no organizations are saying plan for this year. They're saying it's either in progress, done, or the majority are planning it for next year. Cool. Excellent. Okay, let's we'll pause on the polls now and go back to the hybrid cloud management suite, and we've got one more poll question for. No, we've had people come back and say they're planning it for this year. So okay, excellent. All right. So I believe we're back to the slideware here. Once again, key features over on the right-hand side, and we'll go through that just briefly. But remember, the goal of Hybrid Cloud Management Suite is to allow you to employ any cloud for any type of application and deploy that on any environment. Okay. Once again, with that container deployment foundation, you have the choice of deploying the suite on physical, virtual, cloud, or containers. Okay. But over on the right, provisioning and manage any cloud, on-premise resources, some of the key features, designed once, run anywhere services. We'll get through some of those right now. So let's go through some of those key features right now. Here's a capability map across a capability ladder across the 3 editions. There's 3 editions: Express, Premium, and Ultimate. So hybrid IT delivery is the Express use case. So once again, cloud agnostic service designs, and we'll go through that in just a second. But the value here is the fact that you've got the ability to really carry on and show a lot of value. You've got that proven enterprise-grade orchestration engine with over 7,000 actions and flows in there as an out-of-the-box environment. Great for partners as well. Self-service portal with attribute-based options. What does that mean? That means that when you put something in the catalog, it can have options. So imagine if you went into a car dealership and you had to specify a part number that included every single option in your Honda Civic or whatever truck or whatever car or whatever you bought. The point is that we have options, so we can keep a much smaller, more concise number of services in the catalog, and you can still have options to take care of the user community very well. All right. Next generation container-based architecture. Okay. That was added in the May release. Okay. And then once again, when you move on to premium, you're addressing the application release automation use case. Okay. Once again, application release automation and analytics, but built-in stage gates, customizable stage gates, allow you to set up what drives, and the code and the development team can actually drive that through what you've set up for them. And it's very, very powerful because it acts as a real functional bridge between dev and ops. Okay, and then you can do all of your, the vast majority of your software work and automate that because of the out-of-the-box content, the operations orchestration content for middleware and software and database. So you can get a lot of your software work automated. Final, ultimate use case, we add in some catalog aggregation, the brokering, and the compliance. Similar compliance capabilities as in data center automation, and Megan will cover that a lot more completely in her section. So this is there for you just as reference. If you look at the core products that were part of and what we decomposed into the suite, down at the bottom, Express, CA, CSA, OO, CO, UCMDB, IT, BA are there. CODAR is the primary driver for premium, and then we have iTalk, Universal Discovery, and brokering in Ultimate. So lots of the key products you've known have been reinvented and re-architected. What's new in this suite, in this edition that's coming out in May, came out in May, and we've got another edition coming out in about a week. The cool thing is we've built top left an actual bridge between the application release environment and the cloud management platform so that you can set up for the developers and help them model what needs to be done, and then they just consume that. And now, for the first time, the development environments are now part of your managed environments and managed services. So you have much more visibility and control. It doesn't just happen as random bits of environment. So it's much easier to manage that and turn them off when they're done. All right, so new improvements to the Operations Orchestration Designer, new licensing. The cool thing is for Hybrid Cloud Management Suite, if you deploy on containers, you get 5 times the number of instances to use as if you just did it on an OSI. So we've got the whole container deployment foundation there and framework, but the value is being able to deploy and integrate and upgrade the suite on that container deployment foundation. There's a lot of content work done to the content in the marketplace over on the right-hand side. We won't go through all that today. We can come back on if we do a drill down on HCM later on. So let's touch some of the key values here. There's a whole new dashboard. So the whole new dashboard as in January, and this is very exciting because people can show the distribution of workloads across all the cloud providers and all their environments that they have running. They can track service level compliance. They can track multiple organizations or customers, lines of businesses, or multiple tenants if you're an MSP. And then it's an integrated dashboard that really helps you manage all of the hybrid cloud resources and services that you have deployed. All right, and this is very powerful. What helps power that is the ability to create cloud agnostic designs. What do we mean by cloud agnostic? You can design them once and run them anywhere. Most of our competitors, the first step in building a service design is to specify what cloud target it's going to run on. With us, that's the last step. Okay, so it's completely turn that around so that we can design a service with options, et cetera, and then you choose where to run that. And that allows you to have a much more, once again, streamlined set of services that do a lot of different things without having to have every single permutation as another service design to have to keep and maintain. Okay. The other thing that people go, well, it's container workload lifecycle management. So the value is you can build hybrid services that include traditional and container environments. You've got container support for Marathon, Docker, Kubernetes. You don't need a VM. It's native containers. And we also allow you to handle container scaling across not only clusters, but also between different cloud vendors and cloud environments. All right, and then you can just basically manage ongoing compliance and deployment and scaling of those container environments. Allows it to stay much more controlled in a much more manageable environment because you've got that dashboard telling you where everything is and who you're doing it for. All right. The other thing we have is, as a front end, a brand new customer service portal, once again updated in January for the January release, a new where you also have capsuled content, but then you can bring in here to let people from both IT, so this helps solve an IT for IT environment, developers and line of business users, but the value here is it elevates the pricing, it makes it very simple to consume. Once again, all of the IT operations management suites from HP software use our orchestration engine, operations orchestration. The complete license for OO is in the hybrid cloud management suite. So the cool thing is you get that proven end-to-end orchestration. We can even, it's also a master orchestration engine because we can actually control other orchestrators. But we also, look at the bottom, down at the bottom, a new feature is where the red X is we now build in a default failure handling in every single step. So we can handle and manage any IT action or process to completion because we make sure we stay connected to it to understand whether it's successful. So it's web-based, and people are really excited about this, but also there's full text authoring too. So you can code, you can have the GUI or whatever in the designer environment. You can do whatever you choose and go back and forth. Once again, one of the most powerful things that's coming up when we talk to enterprises is the ability to turn around and connect the ops teams to dev. Okay, because devs doing GitHub, they're doing Jenkins, they're doing all this stuff. They just want their stuff when they get it. And much of the unplanned work that ops teams are telling us they're hitting are development requests. We did a survey last year with IDC, 95% improvement when you're using these tools to satisfy your development requests. Okay, why is this important? Because the stage gates are customizable and tied to the software. So the developers, when they see something fails, it gets handed back to them. It's really hands-off once you've set this up and the dev team agree to what environments they want to consume. As you design those, put them into the catalog, they pull in the catalog as the resource, base for their development flow for each release of software, and then as they move the software between different stage states, that moves them automatically to the new environments, tracks them, allows you to sit there and keep those under full management and not have development environments sitting off in the weeds by themselves without being managed. So this is very, very powerful, and most of the customers that we show this to, they go, wait, this is a real functional, live, real-time bridge between dev and ops, and that's why we love to say this is ops at the speed of dev. Okay, so this really allows an ops team to stand in a management environment where DevOps is running, but be able to show the control, the management, security, all the patching, everything else is required to make sure that that is well managed and not just ad hoc. Okay, so that's about where I've got to go through a little what's new in hybrid cloud management. I'm going to turn it over to Megan. She's got to let you know about data center automation. Megan.
Great, thanks, Neil. And hopefully you also have some new functionality that you'd like to see showcased at a deeper level in the future. So do be thinking about that for the end. I do want to start this section off with another poll just to get it started. So, Darren, if you wouldn't mind.
Great. So for this one, what are your top challenges for regulatory compliance? Please tick all that apply. Keeping up with regulatory compliance rules. Your compliance is different across all your silos. Remediation is manual and slow, or the compliance process is not scalable. So what are your top challenges for regulatory compliance? I think regulatory compliance is the challenge.
Yeah, and Darren was telling us that some of the things he's doing at Accenture for this is a huge topic for customers right now.
Yeah, especially in Europe with the general data protection regulations that are coming into play on the 28th of May 2018.
Yes, we have many customers getting ready for that. And I know you were doing that just last week.
Yeah. And it even affects U.S. customers if you're holding any data of EU citizens.
So it looks like the top challenges we're getting are that compliance is different across silos. We hear that all the time. And remediation is manual and slow. Oh, keeping up with all of them are a challenge, like Darren said. Great. So that is a great start to the data center automation section. At a high level, it is our infrastructure lifecycle management solution at scale. And I really want to talk to this in terms of what we had before and what we have now. And the real difference is that we offer these three core use cases of provisioning, configuration, patching, and compliance, not just in a silo for just servers or just DB and middleware. We now offer that solution across platforms, and very soon we'll offer that for container hosts as well. So the difference here is, you're using SA, you have these capabilities for servers, but where we're really going in the short and long term is giving a common platform and unified portal to perform these use cases across teams, allowing collaboration, allowing one common system for teams to use to provision and configure their environments. Where we've really focused in the May release and on the upcoming August release is the compliance use case. That is our first containerized microservice for data center automation. Like Neil mentioned, HCM is about 90% containerized, and we're kind of just at the tip of the iceberg, but rolling out new releases every 3 months. So that compliance use case is the first. We got some really good feedback from our customer advisory boards this past spring across the globe, and we really settled on this as the top issue. And I see, from the poll that we just did, we're in line with all of you as well. So we'll delve into that a little bit more, but again, you're also getting that orchestration piece to link the systems and the processes together, providing complete lifecycle management across what you're doing. And then again, as we move to the future, we'll see the containerization move into the other use cases as well. So looking at the different additions of data center automation, we previously packaged, if you've heard of data center automation before, it in and of itself has changed over the past year, and we now package it by use case. So the expresses are really provisioning configuration use case, again across servers, database, and middleware, and soon-to-be container hosts. Premium is our patching and compliance use case, and then Ultimate, where our roadmap is really leading us to, is kind of that infrastructure optimization use case, using big data analytics to do things like capacity planning, forecasting usage, look at overutilization, underutilization, really getting you on that journey to value of now you have everything optimized, automated, remediating, now looking at optimizing the usage of your infrastructure. Like I mentioned, the premiums were really focused, the patching, compliance, and remediation use case for our most recent and next releases. So containerizing the server database and middleware compliance, audit, and remediation use cases. We'll look at compliance a little bit more deeply, but I do want to just mention, again, across, if you're a legacy server automation customer or a DB and middleware automation customer, what we are offering you within DCA is the ability to orchestrate across those. If you're already an operations orchestration user, you know how important and useful that is. So the out-of-the-box content for provisioning, patching, compliance, allowing you to customize those workflows and ensure repeatable deployments, configure and provision a server or virtual machine that is already PCI or CIS compliant. And then again, the Open API, I think Neil touched on this. Our orchestration engine has long been considered one of the best, if not the best, orchestration engines in the industry. With the Open API, you can really integrate with anything, any environment, anything you're running now. We have a solution for you to make sure it's integrated and can close the loop across your lifecycle management. So getting into the compliance, what is kind of the new and exciting use case for our data center automation suite. Again, if you're using server automation and you have already started using the compliance use case, we know we have some people that are still just using that for provisioning and configuration. What's great about data center automation moving to the suite is that you'll move it across your environment. One of our legacy, market differentiators is our market-leading out-of-the-box content for the regulatory and security rules that are so complicated and complex. Hence why we asked you that poll question. We have PCI, SOX, FISMA, CIS, and what's great about having this content out of the box is that you don't no longer have to have one specific expert on your team that is constantly studying these 100-page documents and the constant updates that are done to them. We had a customer we talked to at the ITOM Summit in Dallas earlier this year that was really having a struggle writing their own scripts with the auditors because they were essentially writing their own checks for the policy. So how do they know that the script that they've run is actually bringing their system back into a compliance? So having these out-of-the-box standards is not only simplifying and streamlining what you're doing, it's providing that peace of mind and level of security for the outside auditors. Looking at the new dashboard that was new in 2017-05, what's really awesome about what we're doing with the containerization is that we're offering the complete view of the infrastructure from one portal. Many of you may know, using the legacy point products, it was a lot of going back and forth from one program to another, and now we're offering this holistic view and getting a glimpse of your resource compliance trend analysis, how long it's taking to remediate, what's failing. What's really great is it's not only giving you a view of what is happening right now, but it gives you a glimpse into the future to look at risk trend analysis and where there might be high security risk, what's low, where you can kind of let the auto remediation take over. If there are no benchmarks associated with a certain resource, it'll come up on your dashboard. It's really just a good holistic view rather than looking into one system, because they are so integrated now across servers, database, and middleware, how everything is how it's looking in the health of your system, essentially. Another cool associated new feature with our compliance use case is our new chatbot. ChatOps is going to be a common capability across the IT operations management suites. We'd love to be able to get into all the new innovation that we're instituting across the suites, and this was one of them, but we could only pick a few for this first go at it. So with the ChatOps bot and DCA specifically, what you're able to do is kind of have a conversation with your system and allow collaboration across team. So here we can see a conversation in Slack. They're working on an issue and they're wondering perhaps if it's related to compliance. Quick side note, I'm really sorry that if the screenshots are coming across super blurry. They are on my side, but like Neil said, we'll make sure you get this presentation in PDF form so you can look it over. But what you're looking at here is, again, a conversation in Slack. So the team members are looking at an event, and they call up the DCA bot to get the latest compliance state. So then the DCA bot can return in a conversation form, just like one of the team members, the compliance state, and you can see what the compliance is. Now that they know that it's not compliance related, they can you can talk back to the compliance and say it's okay, and the DCA bot now knows to alert the team via a conversation again if this compliance score drops. So this way, the teams can monitor deployment and compliance state. If, again, the compliance changes, this is going to be continually enhanced, again, across all suites. We started with compliance, basically a read compliance functionality for this latest release to align with our compliance focus. But again, look for updates and what is going on with that. Again, if you're interested in that across all ITOM suites, we can definitely get you information about what capabilities are available in our other products. And then I kind of touched on this lightly. Our ultimate version is the analytics piece of the puzzle. Another piece of the ITOM operations management roadmap that we're really investing in across all of our suites, using our big data analytics engine to just better what you're doing across your infrastructure. So as it relates to DCA, again, we're looking at the overall health and performance and capacity usage of your systems. Are there any critical alerts? For capacity optimization, looking at is there wastage that we could, turn this VM off, or do we need another server? Is there overusage on one that's going to cause a functionality issue or downtime in the near future? And how it works, I should mention, is it really actually collects real-time data that you're already collecting on your system via auditing, just getting provisioning metrics. When you're entering your configuration, it's collecting all that real-time data and using algorithms to predict and report on the past of the functionality of your system. And that really gives you an idea of, what to look out for and how to manage as you grow, downsize, whatever it needs to be, shut down a data center, et cetera. And then I'll just give one more overview of the Container Deployment Foundation. On a high level, it really helps the ITOM suites be consumed and integrated more effortlessly, more efficiently. But for you, again, I think Neil touched on this. It is a way to better install and update what we're offering, and why we moved to a three-month release cycle for our suites and products is because we can now ensure that you can deploy that, and it's not a 1.5 year long endeavor. It's now you can roll out those updates and those releases as you want to consume them. It's an easier conversation with your teams and your management teams, because it's not the large upgrade overhaul that it used to be. Especially for my server automation customers, we all know, as great of a product as it is, it's a beast, and it was hard to maintain. It was hard to update. And the security issues that you needed to install quickly, we couldn't do. And now with the Container Deployment Foundation, it's going to make your job so much easier, and you'll really be able to consume the innovation that we've talked about today when you want to. As a release comes out and it strikes your interest, and it's something that you've been looking for as a team, you can really consume it much more quickly. So that is all I have for the DCA section. I do just want to conclude with, we know you all are our loyal HP software customers, and so as we've rolled out these new suites and these new innovations, we have created some really seamless upgrade paths. So if you're interested in trying out any of the suites and getting an idea of how these things work, we can definitely work with you. We know it's what's best for you long term. That's where we're innovating. So we've made some really great investments in ensuring that there are seamless upgrade paths. We've created teams specific for that, so please do let us know. Otherwise, we will turn it over to question and answer. And I believe at the end we will take a poll on what they want to see in the future. Is that correct, Anne-Marie?
Yes, that's right. That will be launched in the survey.
Okay, great.
Megan, can I just make one comment about the CDF for a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just the reason we're excited about this is that we understand that it's hard to upgrade the software. Okay, we've been there with you. We understand that. The value of moving to the suite is you've got one more upgrade to do. One more upgrade takes you to the new suite, takes you to an environment like where that pain is gone. And so you get the new functionality. You can go to your CFO and say, yeah, we're going to have to do this one more upgrade, but then we get new functionality every quarter instead of we wait years and a half, multiple years until we get that approved again. It makes a much better business case, and it also allows you to much more easily use the software more effectively because it's all pre-integrated and you're not having to do that work yourselves. So, thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you very much for that. Very exciting and fascinating stuff there. Again, if you want to experience demos, please reach out to us. We can arrange one-on-ones and show you more about the actual suite and the interfaces themselves. Please, do we have any questions and answers at the moment?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of questions right now. So.
Yeah, I don't know if you just want to start with HCM ones, Neil.
Yeah, okay. Show back cost and usage with HCM comes through Cloud Optimizer, and we can come into that a bit more detail later on, but Cloud Optimizer provides that, the show back and workload optimization capabilities in HCM. We've chosen HPE as our preferred solution, but struggling with limitations on supported platforms as majority of the Docker and Windows OSs are not supported. I think if you come back and check with us, I think things have improved, but we just got the latest support matrix. We can talk to you about that. Why don't you send it's Anuj Sharma, if you want to just send me an email, neil.miles@hpe.com. I can get you in touch with some of the data from our product managers on the specifics of support and what's new in the support matrix. I don't have that latest myself personally in my hand right now.
I typed that in the chat for you, Anuj. Neil's email.
Okay, good. Thank you. And then how much resources do the next generation suite consume? Actually, it should be basically less than before because of the container deployment foundation. It's very lightweight, and you actually have, but I would basically, for planning environments, just assume it stays the same as the classic environment. So once again, core products for HCM, hybrid cloud management, are CSA, the full OO license, Cloud Optimizer, CODAR, ITVA. There's a number of different capabilities in there inside the suite, depending on which edition you purchase, Express, Premium, or Ultimate. When we're going to release support for Windows 2016, while we've been on the call, I sent an email off to the product manager for OO. I haven't got it. He's on a call right now presenting, so he won't be able to look at it for a while. We'll try to get that answer posted for you as well quickly. And a shout out to my buddy Mike Battistella. Good to hear from you, buddy, too. And cloud management, but anything to help our ops teams. Yeah, the customers are asking, once again, it is the premium edition, the application release automation that really is getting people excited, because it's not just ops doing stuff for ops anymore. Ops has to be seen as doing things not only for IT, but for the dev team, and that is so important. And I was with one global company. They took between 4 to 8 weeks to prepare a release for production, and then the dev team went to the CIO and said, "We're prepared to release twice a day." And the ops teams does not win when there's that much of a disconnect between 4 to 8 weeks and twice a day. Okay, so we need ops to work at dev speed, and that the ability to have the application release automation tie it not only to managed services and managed designs that you've set up in CSA, but also have that be able to be triggered and run through the development pipeline is very cool, and people get pretty excited when they see it. I think that's pretty much the HCM questions.
Right. Julian has a few follow-up questions, but let me quickly answer his about DCA. SA will not be containerized. We are only instituting that innovation on the suite level. So while the technology will be containerized within DCA, SA customers will need to move to the DCA premium version. You would want to move to the premium version because it's the client's use case, and you already get that with SA. Would need to move to the DCA premium version to get the containerization, the CDF foundation. As is for analytics, ChatOps, we are only innovating at that suite level because it's the best option for you to have the one unified portal rather than continuing to create unified portals across point products that you need to integrate anyways. We're doing it at the DCA level, so it's that, again, holistic lifecycle management solution via one portal, one microservice. But if you have questions about that, I can talk a little bit more to you if you want to email me. Again, we have, just typing my email in here, we have some really great upgrade paths that, oh, okay. Thank you, Henry. Sorry, I didn't know that you guys weren't seeing my email in the chat. We have some really great upgrade paths, so we can talk about that, how to look. We have ERP programs. We can talk about it offline. And then for the compliance content packs, we do a release every 3 months. So compliance content is a large, I mean, do you mean just the, CIS, PCI, regulatory policies, or compliance in general, security fixes, patches? There should be some update in some form at every release, you would think, but if you're looking for like a specific compliance content pack being updated, I can find out. I don't know if you mean just how often are we updating the regulatory ones is what I'm thinking you're asking, and we try to do them as often as there are updates to the policies, but I can find out if we have some sort of schedule specifically to that question. And we can take that offline. And we can get your information as well from Vivit, so we can always follow up with you as well. And then I know he had a couple responses to what you were saying, Neil.
Yeah, I'll check on the show back. Maybe I'm misinformed.
Okay.
So, because part of it's in CSA now in the dashboard and in the marketplace. So let me find out what's going on, because I know they're working on a new cloud brokering algorithm and release in a fall release. That'll be kind of cool too. So I want to make sure that I'm not speaking out of the incorrectly. So. Right,
and the transition period we're in, we're using the CO technology in DCA for the analytics use case. So it's kind of, CO might not have it now, but we might be leveraging a technology that allows it to be, to provide that technology in the HCM platform. It's kind of a transition period where it's not completely point products, not completely suites right now. So I think that's all. Again, we can also, why don't we gather these for those who dropped for the Q&A portion, and we'll send out the Q&A with answers once we have them all. And
one more question came in from Julian about network automation. Is network automation going back to DCA?
No, it will not be. We created our 5th suite a week or two ago, which is network operations management. We just decided those sefunctionalities just didn't make sense together. I mean, DCA and network operations management have a lot of the same core technologies. Networks will just be separate from servers, database, and middleware. And if you are interested, we can definitely, I forget that NA came back into this kind of special interest group, or networks were in this special interest group for some time. If you want, we can always give you a quick one-on-one download of how those are going to map now as well, and give you an update on the NOM capabilities, the Network Operations Management New Suite capabilities. But no, that networks will not be a part of DCA. Yeah, so we will, like I said, answer these questions, the ones that we still need some clarification around, and we'll send those out with a PDF of the presentation. I apologize if the screenshots were blurry for you as well. But we thank you all for joining. Anne-Marie, if you want to kick off that last poll and let Darren close it out so we can get an idea of what y'all would like to see in the future. We're looking forward to doing these much more often.
Yeah, Darren, do you want to take the next slide?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, just to remind everyone, join the Discover on the New World Tour if you haven't already. And be sure to also register for Protect 2017. So there's still time to register. And also wanted to say, oh, sorry, this is going here. I wanted to say thank you to my special guests, Megan and Neil, but also Anne-Marie from Vivid for arranging this webinar. And Anne-Marie, are we going to have that poll? There we go. So, sorry about that. Be sure to also do the survey. And here we go. So the next step, those last ones. But yeah, like I said, if you want this webinar is going to be recorded, so you can share this with a lot of your colleagues who might still be away, or if you're not a member, please join Rivet and join our SIG. And let us know what you want to see in the next webinar. So we're going to have hopefully have one of these each quarter. So I don't see Henry. Is there?
I don't see the survey.
Yeah, I don't see the survey coming up.
I'm launching it, but I don't. Unfortunately, I don't see the questions, and I don't know why, but they are not coming up.
No problem.
So
what we'll do is we'll message you all as members. We'll send it out with some of the content there and find out what you guys want to see in the next webinar. I would like to thank everyone for attending. This has been a live broadcast with my special guests, Meg Glick and Neil Miles. And once again, thanks to Anne-Marie from Vivid. And just a reminder that the webinar recording and slide deck will be posted to the Vivid website. And in the next few days, you'll receive an email with those links.
Thank you, Darren.